Hey there folks, and welcome back for another Sofa Sessions, and today it's going to be Is the Soap Sky Falling Part 2, because this topic comes up every now and then and was raised again when Anthony Mockery from Shaver Heaven decided to suspend his soap making operations a few weeks ago. And I say suspend because he didn't rule out the fact of coming back at some point. And this was brought up back when, you recall, Tim's Soap stopped making soaps, Knockout Shaves, Strop Shop, and a handful of others who stopped making soaps. Now, immediately people thought, the sky is falling, all these soapers are going to go out of business, and they attributed it to lack of business. And in some cases that may have been true. But in a few of those cases, it was confirmed that it was not true. These were guys who had other jobs, who were burning the candle at both ends, and they just could not continue to do so, particularly in the case of Tim's. I know that for a fact, and Knockout Shaves. Anyway, they had other things in their lives to do. They could not continue doing the side job. There is something to think about, though, with respect to your favorite brands. There's always this pursuit of the Holy Grail soap, and I have taken part in that over the last 3+ years, maybe longer. And I've come to find out that the Holy Grail, we've already found it. We found it in Maria Armen soaps. We found it in Chris Cullen soaps. We found it in Mickey Lee soaps. We found it in Cold River Soapworks soaps. We found it in Mike's soaps. We found it in K Shaveworks soaps. We found it in Soap Commander soaps. We found it in Barrister and Mann soaps. We found it in Razor Rock soaps. We found it in Black Ship Grooming soaps. We found it in Sterling soaps. And I could go on and on. We found it in Shannon soaps. I got more. Found it in Soap Smooth soaps. The point I'm making here is, we've already found it. These are great, great soaps. You're not going to get much better, in my opinion, based on my experience of trying a whole heck of a lot of soaps. You're not going to get much better. Look, I spent the $80 for Panacrema Nueva, and I bring this up a lot, I should say, because to me it's the biggest example of a product not or the law of diminishing returns, I should say, kicking in. It just wasn't, for my money, any better than Sterling soaps. It came in a porcelain container. It was okay. Wasn't great. It was nice. The scent was nice. It wasn't fabulous. The performance was very, very good. No question. You can't knock the quality of the soap. But is it that much better than this? No, it was not. Not for me. Period. So we've already found the Holy Grails. I've showed many of them to you, and I've left out probably quite a number of them just because I didn't want to bring any more soaps over here to the sofa. We've already found it. It's probably not going to get much better. When these soaps do improve, it's incremental at most. All right, that is not to say, I'm not ruling out the fact that they're going to get better, because they are. But they're so darn good now. And this speaks, I think, to the wonderful work that these artisans do. They're so good now that any improvement's going to be incremental. I don't think we're going to wake up tomorrow and some new soap's going to come out that is so much better than all the rest of these that we're going to throw them out. So when you're out there buying soaps, if you want to ensure that your favorite brands remain out there and they continue to make new things, buy from them. If you really like Sterling and you're thinking about buying X soap that's, say, brand new, never heard much about it, it's $4 or more an ounce. If you're choosing between that and Sterling, and you want to make sure that Sterling is around for years to come, buy from Sterling. All right, it's your choice, but I'm just saying, if you want to ensure that companies like this stick around, the best thing you can do is buy from them. All right. If you want to ensure that Shannon Soaps sticks around, buy from them. If there's a choice between some new Holy Grail soap And K-Shave Works. Buy the K-Shave Works. You already know it's great. And I say this having bought hundreds of soaps, a lot of which was just a waste of money, because I ended up settling on, let's say 15, 20 brands that are just, I think, excellent. Barrister and Mann. You want to make sure they stick around, buy their soap. All right, so if you have a choice between this and some unknown soap that comes along, buy Barrister and Mann. Right, again, it's your choice. But if you have the concern that the soap sky is falling, the way that you can ensure it doesn't is buy from the folks that you respect, buy from the folks that you want to remain in business. Everybody agrees that people like Chris Cullen, great people. Why not buy from them? Why are you going to buy a $70, $80 soap when you got a guy up there in New Jersey with a family who's a nice guy who does everything, in my opinion, the right way? He doesn't try to push sales on you. He doesn't use gimmicks. He just makes friggin' good soap, trying to support his family. All right, he's not out there baiting and switching. He's not out there trying to convince you that every product he makes every week is the greatest of all time. Just making a good product. Same could be said of Sterling. Same could be said of Mickey Lee and of many brands. Mike's. What better example than Mike's? A soap that he just does it his way. He turns it out and it's great every single time. No gimmicks. No foolishness. No bait and switch. No snake oil salesman. Good stuff. Soap Commander. Salt of the earth people. You want to see them around? Buy from them. It's really simple. If you are concerned, buy from them. And this is why I'm trying to settle in to a core group of products. Now, I've tried a few new things like Uncle John's, but I've been meaning to buy from Uncle John's for over a year. All right? What I'm saying at this point is these soaps are fantastic. And I know some people are going to come along and go, oh, I'm not watching your videos anymore because you're not trying all these new soaps. Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not spending $4 or $5 an ounce for a new soap maker that's unproven, right? I'm not doing it. There's no point in doing it. These brands represent the best there is out there. Katie's Bubbles, Barrister Man, Soap Commander, Mickey Lee, Sterling. I'm not spending $5 an ounce on an unproven artisan. I'm just not going to do it. That's my personal choice. You can continue to do so if you want to. But keep in mind, if you do, and something happens to Sterling, let's say they start getting squeezed because there are so many. I don't think it's a saturation point, to be honest. But I do believe, and this is conjecture on my part, because I don't have any evidence. If these soap makers start to get squeezed, it definitely hurts them. So every time we have these new artisans coming in, and in particular, the ones who are charging in excess of $4, $5 an ounce. My advice to you is, if you want to see people like Sterling and Katie's Bubbles around for years to come, buy from these first. All right. That's how you will hopefully keep these guys afloat. And I don't have any information that leads me to believe they're about to go under. But if these artisans continue to pop up at the rate they are, because we've lost a handful, but man, has there been many popping up. Everybody wants to get a little bit of that money, your hard-earned, and they think it's easy. And I think a lot of them will find out that it is not. So we've already found the Holy Grail. That's my opinion. You can disagree if you want to. It's okay. But my advice, once again, buy from the people who have earned your money through the product, through the way they conduct themselves. All right? Forget the gimmicks. Forget the new. And I fell victim to this for a long time. So I'm speaking from experience. I bought everything out there that was new. I went to Etsy and bought all the stuff that was garbage, a lot of it. And the old timers at that time told me, oh, you're going to find out pretty soon you're wasting your time and money. And they were right. Just like when I was growing up, my dad used to tell me things and I was like, ah, he don't know what he's talking about. And now today I found out my dad was right all along. These veteran shavers who've been doing it 10, 15, 20 years told me what was going to happen. All right, the Arlie Canterburys of the world, the mad scientist, you know, they pretty much laid it out there. You guys are just chasing your tails, essentially. That's what they said, and they are right. Because we've already got stuff here that's as good as anything out there, probably as good as it will ever be, or close to it, because the improvements are going to be incremental unless there's some breakthrough. And it doesn't appear that there's a breakthrough on the horizon. So my advice, forget the snake oil type sales, the gimmicks, the foolishness. Go for what you know. Good quality. These brands that I've showed you and others that I haven't brought over here with me. If you've had a good experience with these companies, support them. And if you want to take a flyer on a new artisan, you know, again, that's your choice. But there's a decision there that you have to think about in terms of, you know, what the future holds for these artisans. And again, I'm not pessimistic that, you know, Katie's Bubbles is about to close the doors. I mean, that's not going to happen. All right. But he could sure use a couple of extra bones in his pocket, I'm sure. He's got 2 kids, trying to support his family. Same way as Rod is from Sterling. And you know these people. You've gotten to know these people. So my point is, hey, you might want to throw these guys a bone. You know, instead of buying that new whatever that's come out that's probably overpriced and unproven, I say stick with these. However, it is your choice, right? So I'm just giving you my point of view. You may strongly disagree. That's okay. Until next time, let's make America shave again, and let's do it in Movember. What's healthier than a man with a great shave? Come on. I mean, you got these people with these raggedy behind. I almost said a curse word there. So, trying to restrain myself there. These raggedy behind, patchy beards, that don't look healthy. Make your donation to the Movember, you know, organizations, or the Men's Health, prostate cancer, and all that, and then shave. Let's make America shave again. Everybody be happy. Continue to enjoy this hobby. You guys have a great day.